Now, the second step that we're going to work on today to creating a great lead generation system is to develop multiple ways of reaching your ideal clientele. On the surface, this seems to be an easy step, and it can be. But the reality is that most salespeople in any industry don't ever develop more than one or two ways of reaching their prospects, usually the least creative ways. One of the best metaphors that I've ever heard to describe what the best salespeople in the world do is that they build a business much like building a great building. They build it on pillars. For instance, if you were going to build a strong building, you would have multiple pillars supporting the roof of the building. Most salespeople attempt to build a building that is supported by only one or two pillars. What I mean by this is that if in the metaphor the pillars represent ways of reaching your ideal clientele, then most salespeople only have one or two ways of initially contacting their clients. Most of them telemarket, some go door to door, but very few do much more than that. A salesperson can survive if they only have one or two pillars supporting their business, as long as those pillars are strong. But you run the risk of losing your business if you ever lose those pillars. To make matters worse, the one or two ways that most salespeople use to reach their clients usually happen to be the most ineffective ways of reaching their clients. They usually use what I call front door approaches to reaching their clients. Up until 3 years ago, I lived in a very old-fashioned residential neighborhood. Each house had a driveway up the side with a detached garage in back, and there was a front and a back door that were both accessible. I found that in a neighborhood like that, there were very different people who came to my front door versus my back door. In a neighborhood like that, for instance, who comes to the front door? That's right, bill collectors, census takers, and salespeople. In general, it was people I either didn't know or didn't always want to know. Who comes to the back door in a neighborhood like that? That's right, friends, family, anyone else I knew would walk up the driveway, knock on my back door. And I found it very interesting how I and my family responded to knocks on the front and back door. When somebody came and knocked on my front door, there was an immediate suspicion. I mean, it was always like, who could that be? When people knocked on my back door, we would usually yell out, "Come in," and invite them in. It could have been the same axe murderer at both doors, and we would have invited them in at the back door and been suspicious at the front door. Now, telemarketing, going door to door, are great ways of contacting people, and you should be doing them. But you know what? They are front door approaches. And one of the things that you need to do is develop many ways of getting to the back door. Your clients have a front and a back door, and you need to be able to reach them at the place where they invite you in, not the place where they're suspicious of you. In order to figure out where the back doors are for your clients, it's critical that you get to know who your clients are as much as possible. Because one of the questions that you'll need to ask is, what do my clients do that would place them in an environment that is more accessible than simply calling them on the phone in a cold call? In other words, where would I find them where their guard is down? For instance, are they active members of organizations? Do they subscribe to newsletters or advice services? Do they already trust certain types of lawyers, accountants, venture capitalists, investment advisors, and other professionals? Do they have certain hobbies? Do they have certain types of family arrangements that would put them in certain environments? Are there certain people that they admire whose endorsements would open doors for you immediately? Are there certain types of information that they seek out in a way that would put them in educational environments of one sort or another? Do they give time or money to a particular charity or cause? Now, obviously, these questions will be impossible for you to answer if you've never identified your ideal client or your area of responsibility. But if you have, this information is available and is magical in its ability to create clients for you.